The Upper Bow River is not only one of the most scenic rivers to fish, but one of the most productive brown trout fisheries in the West. The brown trout love big food items, and when the large green drake mayflies are hatching, the browns are very willing to rise to the occasion. Dan Bell of the Upper Bow Fly Fishing Company is guiding us today as we cast big dry flies for big brown trout. Green drakes on the Upper Bow River. That's today as we take you sport fishing on the fly.
First fish of the day.
It has started.
Oh, a little guy, but still. Nice fish.
Yeah.
A nice brown.
Well, you know what we got today? We're in the Upper Bow. Dan Bell's taking us out. Perfect time of year for green drakes. A little later today.
Yep.
We weren't sure if they were going to come off. And we got a real treat for you later on a special tie. You're just going to have to hang around and see. There he goes. Dry fly fishing. It's the best. Big flies too if you get a chance to see them. And the green drakes have just started and they're coming on in a big way. So I think we're going to have a fun day.
Should be fun. I'm just still watching this water. They're just about to start. We've seen a couple. Of course, we just saw that one jump and take that one in midair. Eat it.
Don't go away. We're going to be right back with some more green drakes in the Upper Bow.
Okay, Don, what we got here is a typical Upper Bow. It's wild river, a lot of wood in the river. So what we're going to do in here is the big fish are going to be sitting in this wood waiting for the food to come out of the jams and stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to get right in here. We're going to work some of this deeper water in here and right up in there, and particularly up in here when we get up in there. Right underneath the logs, the bugs come out, the fish will be in there and they'll take them. Good.
Ooh, right on.
These guys should come up though.
There he is. Oh, yeah. Oh,
nice fish.
Is that it? Is that incredible or what? Oh, man, was that special? You know, we could see him under the water there. I knew it looked like a fish. We weren't sure if it was a fish or a log. And now I'm going to have to keep him out of that wood. Oh, and he's a nice one, too.
Oh, he is.
Oh, he's a dandy.
He didn't waste any time coming up to that fly, did he?
That was unreal. 2 casts over him.
Yeah, I was wrong. Sorry, I said it was the first cast hole, didn't I?
Second cast over him.
Oh, he's
unreal.
in that wood. He's out.
Oh, yeah. Let's get him in here for you. Look at the beautiful colors on this fish.
Hook is just in the tip of his mouth.
Just where he grabbed it. There we go.
Look at that.
Look at the pretty colors. Now, we always talk about beautiful fish. You know, rainbows are beautiful because they got the real nice colors. Browns are spectacular.
I think so.
They are. They've got the red. Oh, just spectacular fish.
The orange, you find that the ones that we get in the logs here tend to be a little more gold or brown, especially the big ones that get very gold.
And that guy's nice and clear.
Yeah.
You know, he's sitting in this kind of greeny, clear water, and it's just beautiful.
So what's
you
he,
know
about
what?
14, 15?
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful fish.
Yeah.
Well, just to get the dry fly, you know, there's nothing more special than seeing dry fly takes, and there he goes. Yes. Yeah.
Nice work.
That was unbelievable. And that we haven't even touched the hole yet.
No, that was our second cast.
Second cast right in short to that guy, and we have this whole section to work.
That's right.
And you know what? Granny didn't want to come log jumping, but he's looking
There's
over.
Granny. Hello.
He's looking over here now, and he might want to come down.
We're having a great time. Send money.
right. Glasses are a good thing to have. What an awesome little spot. We just saw fish rising up in there.
Yeah, right in that glassy water right there, there's some big fish that live up in there, and they're moving around right now taking these mayflies. There seems to be some lesser and greater green drakes coming off, and they're quite active. As you said, we've seen a few moving there, so what you're going to have to do is make a nice long cast. Now, what you've got here is a fair bit of current, so when you get it across here, you're not going to have a very long float.
Right.
Also, if and when a fish comes up and takes that fly, you can see we've got wood all over here. You're gonna have to
Horse it and hope.
horse it in and hope. Horse and pray.
Yeah. Okay, we'll try a couple from here. We might want to step down there. It might be a better place, you say.
Yeah, we may just take a step up and get a slightly better angle, but if we lose one and it doesn't work well, then that's the way it is. Actually, to start, why don't you try one right on that seam you're just putting it by?
Yeah, just to get the cast out.
That wood around there right there. Good cast. Come on, eat it.
Not getting much of a drift.
Good one. Lift! There he is.
Yeah, right on. Go on.
Nice fish. Look at the power on him. Keep coming him in. Bring him in. Bring him in.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get in the wood. Lean him right. Now,
Oh, yeah. Excellent.
Now don't let him under there. You'll be sorry. Thank you. There he is.
Right on. Excellent. Oh, I love brown trout.
Look at that. Nice
Yep.
fish.
Excellent. Oh, I just love the colors of
He's
them.
not big, but he's really stout. Put him back in.
Oh, yeah, you bet.
There he goes.
Gonna feed another day.
Nice cast.
Right on. Thanks a lot.
That was great.
Oh, we just got it up there. We saw him feeding there earlier. Just had to get it up to him.
Yeah.
Tough, like you say. We had to kind of cast to the left, have the fly go to the right.
Yeah, it's very technical fly fishing. That's why we joke around. We call it combat fly fishing.
Yeah.
It's because it's technical. I mean, and fishing stuff like this will teach you more about fly fishing in a day than a week on most of the big open rivers.
That is so true, yeah.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really is. And we had to horse him out of there too. We're lucky because he could have gone left, he could have gone to the right.
That's right.
We're lucky
using
he came back to us.
fairly stout tippet.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, let's go through that recommended setup. What we've got today.
Well, for fishing this stuff,
Yeah.
we're using big flies. We've got a 9-foot rod, 6-weight that's fairly stiff. It's a good strong rod. It gives you the backbone you need to horse these guys out of here when you hook them.
Right.
The tippet, we're using a leader that's about 9 feet long.
Yep.
It's a nice Rio leader, good clear line. And it's, I would say in here we've got it to about a 3X.
Yeah, it is.
So
there,
it's about 8-pound test, and that gives us the strength we need to be able to horse these fish out of here.
Well, we're lucky they're not leader shy because look at the water, how fast the water's
That's
moving.
right.
That's a little murky today too.
Exactly, it's off color, and so leaders are not a big concern as long as, other than the fact they have to be strong.
Right. Excellent. Well, there might be a couple more up in there.
Let's give them a go.
Yeah.
That's the one, Don.
There it
There
is.
he is right there, coming up. Oh!
Is that unbelievable?
Yeah.
Oh man. See how slow he came up and took that? He just meandered up there. Oh wow.
Nice cast,
he's
too.
Oh, and he's a nice one.
Took a few casts to get it over him. It had to be
casts.
really tight.
Three casts to
casts.
get it real tight to the bank, but that again, that was up or off the bank.
Yeah.
And he just came up,
And as soon
sucked
as
it
you
down.
made the cast, as soon as the float was going, we knew
We
he was
knew
there.
he was going to take it. Fantastic. Well, we should get in here and try to land this guy. This one's a nice one, actually. Okay, got him in this calm water here. Oh, that's a nice
Nice-looking
fish.
fish.
Yeah. Oh, and he took it.
Nice cast too.
Wow.
I lost the coin toss today for the front of the boat.
You did. And you know what? At the beginning of the day, we said You know,
Yeah.
we don't care who gets front or back or whatever. But then Granny said, no, we got to make it fair, we got to flip.
Yeah.
And I pulled the front, a bonus.
Well, it is for spots like that.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah, because you get the first cast in there and you get a good shot at it. And we knew it, as soon as we put it tight.
Yeah.
Oh, that was incredible. He came up just like this. Sucked it down and went right back down again.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
It was so much fun the way
Hey,
that
hey,
flipped.
hey, Dan.
Nice work.
All right.
That was fun to watch.
That was,
That was
isn't
really
it?
fun to watch. Yeah.
That's just fun to
I had a
watch.
couple of casts over it too. I just didn't put the good cast in.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
the rule is the rower's in charge,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
So the rower says,
Switch it up.
Switch
okay,
'em up, boys.
let's change it up.
Okay. No argument.
No, cause that's good. No
"Hey, you can
argument.
pay me later."
It's only fair. It's only fair. I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all, Dan. Oh yeah.
Oh, good fish. Yes.
Wow. Look at the size of this brown.
Oh, this guy's tagged too by the government.
Oh,
We want this guy.
oh yeah. Look at that. Wow.
Excellent. They get big.
Do they ever get big? And when it's getting further into the night and browns really turn on, the further we get into the night, and there's a
Wow.
perfect example of what we're going to be into here.
Unreal. There were
There's a
two
fly.
flies sitting there. And it
Hey,
shows
took
your...
mine! Two identical
So what do you
flies.
got? You got a tag fish.
Yeah, so the Alberta government right now is Fish and Wildlife did a fish count last year. It was in Bill Griffith Creek, which is right down around the corner here. And that's where most of the spawning takes place for the browns in this river. Anyway, they tagged, I think it was approximately 1,500 fish. And this is one of them. So what we're going to do is just have a quick look at them and see if we can get a number off them. V76. V76.
V76. Okay.
He's a good healthy
Whoa,
fish.
there he is, right there.
There, look at that.
Isn't that a dandy? Just a beauty. All right, let him go here. He's ready. He wants to go. He's probably going to go right away. Isn't that gorgeous? Just beautiful.
Awesome. I love it.
There he goes. Wow.
Nice work.
All right.
And he took my fly at the back of the boat. That was good.
All right, switch up again.
There are plenty of new innovative products coming out in the fly tying world. One are the hooks. Now these new hooks from Partridge are just awesome for tying extended bodies, and that's what we're going to tie today, is an extended body mayfly. Make sure you have these materials ready before you tie the fly. For the hook, we're going to use a size 14 Partridge K10. We'll use some UTC 70 black thread, some black deer hair for the tail. For the rib, we use some small yellow Fentex, some olive sow scud dubbing for the body, a black hackle for the wings, and some barred dun hackle for the hackle. The big difference in tying this fly is you have to start off by putting the hook in backwards. So what I'm doing is putting the tip or the eyelet of my hook in the vise to start and clamping it so I can tie now onto the extended body. We'll take our thread now and tie it onto the extended body of the hook. And I also like to take a few wraps just around the body and then back to get a good base layer of thread built on. I've taken some deer hair and stacked it, and I've cut it the length of the extended body, the metal part of the extended body hook, and added about double. So it's about double the length of the extended body. And we're just going to tie it in for the tail, and this will help build up a bit of the body also. I now have the extended body tied up to the length I want. I'm going to take some small yellow Fentex and we're going to tie this in, and this will be used for the ribbing later. I'm now going to dub on some of my olive sow scud dubbing, and I want to keep it fairly thin through the tail, and then I'll build it up a little bit bigger as we get down the body. And then we're slowly going to wind in this dubbing to form a nice tail and body on the fly. We'll take our yellow Fentex and we'll slowly wind in about 5 to 6 ribs on the fly, because these green drakes do have some nice big yellow ribs on them. To finish the rest of the fly off, we have to remove the hook from the vise. So we're just going to take it out, turn turn it around, put it in the proper way by the hook bend, and tighten up your vise, and then we can continue to tie in the wings and the rest of the body. One thing to remember after you've turned the hook around in the vise is you have to whip finish your thread off, and you have to do a reverse whip finish, because you got to remember we've been tying opposite way, so you do a reverse whip, and that way now you can start your thread going the right way again, so it won't be backwards. I'm going to take two hackles, two black hackles, and I'm going to trim them into wings. So what I've done is taken a bit of the barbs off the bottom. I'm going to take my scissors and just trim them round to form a wing. Just so it's a nice flared wing, just like that. We're going to take our wings, now that they've been shaped, and we're going to put them on right in the center of the hook and tie them in for the wings. And remember, keep these wings nice and big because they are a green drake, and green drakes have really nice big tall wings. Now the wings are tied in, I'm actually going to separate them. I'm going to do a few figure eights between the wings, behind them and in front of them, just to keep them separated and nice and high. To fill in the body a little bit more, I'm going to take a little bit more of my dubbing right near the bend of the hook and just build up the body a bit at the back and up to the wings again. I've taken a barred done hackle, and this will be tied in, and we'll use this to tie in a hackle to imitate the legs a little later on. Just want to tie it in behind the wings. To finish off the body, I'm going to take some more of my olive dubbing and just dub it onto my thread and slowly wrap in a little bit more of my body in between the wings just to finish off the body. With a pair of hackle pliers, I'm now going to clamp on to my hackle, and I'm just going to do a few wraps behind my wings and make a couple of wraps through the wings just to make sure we get some legs through the wings, and then a couple up front. And there it is, the finished extended body mayfly. You know, these new Partridge hooks really make it easy to tie flies like this. And the nice thing about this fly is the way it sits on the water, just like the natural. Yeah, but that's, you know, there's lots of fish.
Oh, there are,
You're
yeah.
going to get a ton of fish. Yeah. Everybody's going to get a lot of fish in the day. And it's nice that you alternate, Dan. Even though you guys did put me in the back of the boat. Oh, but you know what?
Nice. Thank you, sir. That was awesome.
You guys keep talking for a minute.
He just saw a fish.
Watch this. Watch this. Then I'm going to pluck him. He's right there. Watch this. Ooh. There it is. Ooh. There it is. There it is. Oh, and I snapped him off.
He snapped him off.
Got the good cast in, and finally I could sidearm it in. He took it, and I lost him.
Hey Dan, thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
It's just so awesome always coming up here. You got the scenery, you got the great fishing, you got dry fly fishing. Have a lot of fun. We joked around all day long. And to me, that's what fly fishing is all about. That is 100% what fly fishing is about.
Yeah, it's a great river. It's a lot of fun to fish down here. I mean, you see the scenery we have here, and the browns, they can really be entertaining.
Oh yeah.
And it's great to have you guys back. It's been a couple of years, and
Yep.
and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It always is.
Oh yeah, you bet.
Well, dry fly fishing. That's my forte. That's what I like the best. And when you can get it up here for big browns, can't beat it.
That's right.
Thanks, Big Dan.
Thanks,
Always
Dan.
a pleasure. A lot of fun.
You want one of the best days you're ever going to have fly fishing. If you're experienced or not, you want to talk to Dan because he'll get you into some great fishing and you'll have a good time. I guarantee it. And I know Dan will too.
Yep.
When you get a chance, give Dan a call. Come up to the upper bow. Make sure you take care.
And conserve the waters. They got a great little program going here. More tagging the fish, and it fishes fantastic.
Yeah, it sure does. See you next time.
When we take you sport fishing on the fly.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, not bad.
Sport Fishing on the Fly is brought to you by G. Loomis Quality Graphite Fly Rods. You'll like what you feel. And by Islander Reels. High performance, precision fly reels, Canadian made. And by Outcast, makers of the best pontoon boats. And by Hyde, made by fishermen for fishermen. And by these other fine sponsors. terrestrial insects make up a large portion of a fish's diet, and one of the first terrestrial insects of the season to hatch are flying black ants. You'll find these large insects flying around lakes and rivers from early May up until early July, and when they fall into the water, it can make for some very exciting dry fly fishing. Dwayne D'Andrea of Mountain Valley Sport Fishing and Tours is guiding us on the Columbia River in the West Kootenay region of British Columbia. Drifting the Columbia using flying black ant patterns, that's today on Sport Fishing on the Fly.
Whoa. All right.
Right at us.
Yeah.
Oh, nice fish. Yeah.
Oh, a nice fish, yeah.
Let's take a look at him real close.
Oh, yeah, he's a dandy.
He's big.
All right.
Okay, on the reel.
On the
Where he belongs. There we go.
Very nice.
Right on. Oh, the black ants.
Well, that's what the whole show is about today. We're doing the black ants on the Columbia River, and we just got out here.
Yeah, we did.
Took a few casts, and you popped this guy right away.
Yeah, nice
Beautiful.
fish too. Well, we're with Dwayne D'Andrea from Mountain Valley Sports Fishing and Tours. Got us out here in the Columbia River with his own pattern too. Had the chance to use the local knowledge fly, and I jumped at the opportunity.
Right on. Well, and also later in the show, we will go to the bench, and obviously, oh, that's a nice one. We are doing the black ant, so we will tie you up a real good black ant pattern. Look at that. Oh, and there he goes. These Columbia River rainbow are absolutely a beautiful fish, phenomenal fish. They just
Our favorite for sure.
They are our favorite.
Pound for pound.
They're
Next to a
the-
bonefish.
One of the best. And that's a beauty. Well, that's a nice Columbia rainbow. Well, that's what makes it so tough in this river is you can see this is actually a back eddy, and that's where you fish in the Columbias, in these back eddies. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Bring them over there.
Right
That's
on.
a dandy. Whew. Check that out. I'll stay on this side. Here, Granny, I'll take your rod.
All
You
right.
guys can release it.
Wow.
Oh, what a beauty.
I just love the looks of the rainbows here in the Columbia River.
Fantastic.
They are so pretty. Yeah. A black ant. A special black ant.
Black
I know why
ant.
he wanted my rod there. He wants that black ant.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look
I'm
at
going to
it.
release him here pretty quick.
Okay. Up there for our. Oh,
Oh, yeah,
how
look at
long's
that.
guy?
He is long. He's really long. Looks like he's just out of spawn a while
Yeah, he's
ago, eh?
just starting to
But
fatten
he's
up.
just starting to fatten up.
He's going to be a bigger fish.
There he goes. There he goes.
Have a little
Yeah.
shower then.
Wet one. Slip
Right
out of the
on.
hand.
Wow.
Right
Great
on.
start. Thanks,
Way to
Dwayne.
go. Quick start. A lot more to
That's
go.
excellent.
Yeah. Now, do you know anything about the rainbow in here? Like, is there a certain type? I know when we were talking about all the Columbia River rainbow,
Yeah.
they got a bunch of ones that are stocking down the States in Lake Roosevelt. They've got the steelhead from way back. They got some Kamloops rainbow. They
That's
got a
right.
whole bunch of strains,
That's
don't
exactly true. What you say, there is some native trout still left, but the numbers aren't that great. So,
they? Now look, hey,
That's
catch a
nice.
fish that size. That's great.
yeah.
Stay tuned.
sure.
We'll be right back with some more black ants on the Columbia.
Yeah, give me my fly back.
No way. No way. It's mine now.
All right, well, what we should do now we're back is talk a little bit about how we're fishing here. Because it's a little different than the normal dry fly fishing. We're not casting and mending and casting to boil. It's a little different.
Exactly. Yeah, right now you're fishing with the dry line and 8 to 10 foot leader with a black ant. And you're fishing the seams. That's where the fish are picking up the food that drifts by them lazily in the current as it comes around. And if your fly is in the right spot, you're going to get one.
What we're doing is we're casting out, we're looking for a good, well, you say a seam, and a seam is, explain a seam.
Well, a seam is like a river within a river. It's something that is a branch of the main column, water column. And it's like a little brook, for an example. It's a little run of water that's carrying food. Where it's where a back eddy meets the main current.
Okay.
So you want to fish those seams.
Ooh, my fly was right in the seam, but nothing yet.
Seams all around us.
So what we're doing is getting our fly there, and then we're just letting it sit. Sometimes we're giving a little bit of motion, but we're doing lots of mending just to try and keep the fly close in that seam.
Yeah, and a nice dead drift is good too.
So what I did there is I cast it out, actually cast my line here, mended, and just kept stripping out line. Just kept feeding out, feeding out. And I probably got most of my fly line out, and just feed it out and get into that main seam. And that's where you got that big guy.
That's where the big guy went, yeah.
And yet the fishing, I mean, the Columbia River is notorious for being the night fishery. Usually you don't even get into a few fish until, you know, sun goes down a bit, fish start rising, but we've got some early.
Well, the sun's about to go down.
That's a good sign. Oh, wow. Whoa. Another dandy on
Right
the
on.
end. Oh, man.
Hammered it.
And again, what we're doing is getting a little later now. It's about 8:30. And when he did, whoa, look at him digging for the bottom. Getting that fly right out in the seam again, just letting it sit and skid a bit in the current. And he came right up and popped it. This guy's right. Look at this. This is a 6-weight rod. You know what we should go through right now is recommended setup.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
I mean, today I'm using a 6-weight rod. I've got my 6-weight Rio wind cutter line. Whoa, man, with it. He's just shaking down there. He's a nice size.
Oh, yeah.
And we're using, I've got 12 feet of tippet on here, or 12-foot leader. Oh, man, he's dancing down there. Where's that anchor rope? It's back here, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be okay where he's at there.
About 12 feet of leader, and I've got some nice fluorocarbon tippet on here. I've got about,
Take a run yet.
oh, jeez. Oh, man, look at him shaking down there. Yeah, just a couple of feet of that fluorocarbon tippet. And I swear by the fluorocarbon. I mean, it gives you a bang for your buck. Some people complain that it sinks your fly, but I swear by it. I like that fluorocarbon.
Well, I mean, that's the type of fishing we're doing today. We're actually going through dry and then letting it swing through.
We saw a few rising, which was nice. You know, we saw the fish, a few moving out there. We had a slow time. We had it going at about, what did we get out here, 6 o'clock, 6:30?
About 6, yeah.
Cranking pretty good. And it got slow for about an hour. We kind of sat around. We let Dwayne fish. That's the benefit of a guide, eh? Yeah, fishing gets bad. You let the guide fish. And then it started cranking again, so we got going. Oh, that's a healthy fish. Oh, man. So again, recommend a setup, minimum 6-weight rod, I think, out here. What do you guys think?
Yeah, 6.
6 is probably pretty good.
5 is good.
Oh, gee. But in this current, like and I got about, I think 4X tippet on here, which is still pretty fine. Oh, there he is there. Oh, a nice healthy silver. Okay. Well, you know what? I think he's ready.
Yeah, okay.
He's ready for the netting.
I like these nets too. These are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Easy on the fish.
Really easy on the fish.
Oh, hold the net here for you. Let Dwayne do the honors.
Which black ant do you have on there?
I've got on Dwayne Special.
Hand tied.
And you know what we're going to do right after this fish? I think we'll go to the bench and tie it up.
Because this is a really neat black ant.
It is. It's an excellent pattern. All right, there it is there. Got that. I will show everybody the fish. I'll show everybody the ant pattern. Oh, isn't that a beauty?
Yep.
Look at that. Oh, aren't they gorgeous colors?
Beautiful.
Just gorgeous.
Columbia River rainbow. It's best.
They got the dark done. There he goes. Oh, they're so tough to fish. All right. Good job.
Excellent.
Well, you know what we're going to do right now is that was a nice fish. We've got your special pattern.
Yeah.
We'll go to the bench and tie up that real special black ant. What, you got a name for it?
Black ant,
Black
just
ant.
fine-tuned a little
There
bit.
you go, flying black ant.
Fine-tuned.
Well, today we're going to tie you up the flying black ant. Now, of course, the whole show is based on flying black ants, but this pattern works exceptionally well in the springtime on the Columbia when the black ants are flying. Make sure you have these materials ready before you tie the fly. We're going to tie the ant on a Mustad R74 size 10 streamer hook. We'll use some UTC 70 black thread. For the body, we'll use some black deer hair. We'll use some brown hackle tips for the wings, some black hackle as the hackle, and some peacock herl for the head. The first stage is to make sure you build up a nice layer or foundation of black thread. You don't want that deer hair slipping on the hook at all, so build up a real nice layer of black thread on the hook first. I've taken a small clump of my black deer hair, and I'm going to put this on the back of the hook, and I'm going to tie in probably about 1/8 of an inch of the black deer hair, just to get a nice base built up, and wrap the thread right to the bend of the hook. Bring your thread back forward, again about 1/4 of an inch. Now what we're going to do is take all this deer hair and bring it forward to form the first segment of our fly, of the ant. The very back segment of the ant, we're going to pull it all forward, take our thread and wrap over the first segment. We'll now push our hair back, bring our thread forward about 1/8 of an inch, bring our deer hair all forward again, pull it into another bunch, and this is going to form the second segment of the fly, of the ant. So we'll tie off over that. And I also like to just push this back a little bit, just to bulge the second segment, just so you can get a nice little bulge on the fly. And we'll cut off all our excess hair. The reason I push that deer hair back for the second bulge is because we're going to tie in a couple of brown hackle tips as the wings. And when I tie these in, that little bulge of deer hair will help the wings actually stay out. We don't want them too close to the body, we want them actually flared out. So we'll take our brown wing tip, brown hackle tip, tie it in. Tie one on one side, and cut off our excess. And we'll tie another on the other side. Now that I've tied in the 2 hackle tips forward, and this is an important note, is I have tied them forward. When I pull them back now, I'm going to pull them back to form the wings. And when I tie them back over with the thread, these wings will now stay outright. We'll now take 1 black hackle. I've taken a nice dry grade 1 neck hackle. And we're going to tie it in just above the wings in front. Cut off our excess. And then we'll take some hackle pliers and form some legs. And now when we do wrap the hackle in, we only want a few legs on there, so I only tend to take 3 to 4 wraps at the most. So that's 3, there's 4 wraps, and then tie off. To tie in the head now, I've taken 2 strands of peacock herl. We're going to tie them in just behind the eyelet, wrap back to where you had the hackle put in, bring your thread forward, and then slowly wind in the last segment of the fly, which will be the head. And I like to make a little bit bigger head, just to make it stand out a little bit. And there it is, the finished flying black ant. You know, this pattern works fantastic when the flying black ants are out, but it isn't that durable because of the black deer hair. You catch a couple of fish, it gets chewed up very easily. If you want to make it more durable, apply a little bit of flex cement or even some hard head finish onto the black deer hair. If you don't do that, make sure you have plenty in your fly box. Oh, there we go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't think he's that small. I don't think he's that small, Granny, is he?
He wasn't that small, but he's gone now.
Oh, he got off?
He just got off.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Bummer.
Well, you can see how dark it's getting right now, and well, they're still coming out. Actually, they're coming out bigger and bigger.
Coming.
Hey,
The black ant is working dead.
this is what it's all about, late nights.
Late night on the Columbia River.
All right, Dwayne. A nice one.
Just angled up there a little bit. Took over.
Oh, it looks nice, though. Looks like a good fish.
Well, I'm still tying on from the last one, so you can see that it is
there he
coming on
goes.
big time.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. Well, that's a nice one. I'll do the guide thing
Okay.
and net him for you. Just put my rod down here.
Now you can see these ants.
Boy. Yeah, that's the thing, though. You got to be out here late at night for these rise. These rainbows don't come up. I mean, some do come up in the day. You're already going to get a few a little later on in the afternoon, but where it really starts cranking, where they start boiling, is late at night. Oh yeah, that's a beauty. Whoa, no, he's not ready yet.
That was pretty quick for fish that big to come in.
Yeah, no kid. All right. There he is there. Oh, that's another dandy. Here,
We should everybody know Dwayne is if somebody wanted to do this,
Yeah.
black ant fishing like this, when is the best time? I mean, every year's different, but
Yeah, you can't go wrong from end of May right into July. I really like June. June's one of my favorite times for fishing.
probably the best thing to do is give you a call to find out how things are going.
Yeah.
To know when the best time to come out is.
Don't mind talking fishing at all.
That's something pretty normal with guys, isn't it? They like to talk.
Come here.
So how big is that guy?
Oh, it's a
That's
couple
like
pounds.
18 inches or so?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dandy. Yeah, that's a beauty. There he goes. And he's gone.
Thank you.
Hey, hey. And actually, you're in
good.
at a good time. And there's actually fish rising. You're able to fish.
Yeah. That was great.
Well, we're trying it all. Why not?
Everybody
So, hey,
catches.
it's still going. I mean, there's still fish rising. I'm going to hand off your rod and I'm going to get back out there. And I see Granny's back on.
I'm in.
Okay.
All right. Wow. Oh, gee, and he went right for the bottom, got right on top again. You know what, I saw him, I could hear him boiling out there. And I cast out there, saw a couple of circles around where I thought it was.
Yeah.
Pulled my fly a couple of times, and then I saw another boil, and then I felt him. And he was on my fly. That is amazing.
Get her.
Oh, he's right there.
We're over there.
Whoa,
Get it right.
whoa, he's right there. Oh,
My rods are okay.
yeah, he wants to go again. Whoa.
This side.
Is this Columbia River action or what?
It's worth the wait.
Oh, I tell you. We're getting them in finally.
Did her again.
Oh,
Had to chase him a little bit.
oh, I tell you.
Still running.
You know what? When they get in that current, you do. You have to chase them around. And that's the nice thing about being out in the hide drift boat. You can.
Yeah.
You know, our big boat is pretty toughed up anchor and chasing. You gotta get them in.
Yeah.
You know what? I gotta come to the back of the boat or I'm gonna get in big trouble here.
You're gonna be in trouble here.
Yeah.
Improvise. There we go. Camera boat comes in handy. You gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta fish it. Well, I'm afraid you might have to join me.
Okay, I'm coming.
Just because we could have got all really hooked up and stuff. And
Oh, switching venues here. Hopping the harbor craft out of the hide. Oh, that's too funny.
oh, that is hilarious.
Oh, nice fish.
Why?
You said that wasn't that big of a fish?
Well, you never know. I lied, yeah. Oh, just when they hit, you know, they just boil and
Look at that. What a
Wow.
gorgeous fish.
is that ever? Oh. There we go. Oh, wow. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That's big.
That is a beauty.
Okay.
Wait, I'll give you that.
I'll hang on to the net. You can,
Okay,
you can do that.
great. I'll just get my hands wet
That is
first.
a big fish.
That's a nice fish. That's a beautiful rainbow. Boy, oh boy. Okay, settle down here. He just wants to go.
Yeah, see, we
We'll
get a
try
good
to-
look at this
Yeah,
fish.
yeah.
Because this is gorgeous. This is why we love the Columbia so much. Because we get fish like that.
There he
What a beauty.
is. Isn't that a nice fish?
They're so pretty. I just love the stripe on them.
Yeah,
and the spots are just that much different.
The red, the real red gills. And this is your average size. That is the average size fish you're going to catch out here.
They get way bigger.
Oh, and they get a lot bigger than this. Well, let's let them go.
Okay.
Look at that. Look at the back on him, too. Just a beautiful back. Ah, he's got teeth on him, too, I don't think. He's going to need some reviving. He gave us a great...
Yeah.
Oh, what a great fish.
It is, and that's what the Columbia is all about.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, just fishing with black ants, it's what a great thing to do, too. I mean, it's something we bypass. We always fish with caddis whenever we come out to the Columbia. We bypass the black ants, but we won't anymore.
Not a chance. And the caddis haven't really come off yet this year. Not
Right.
big. And the black ants have. They're later on in the year. We happen to hit it. Absolutely fantastic. Well, let's go back in the drift boat with Dwayne. He's sitting right here. We'll hop back in.
Well, Dwayne, thank you very much for bringing us out today
My pleasure.
and tonight, because it's been a blast.
Yeah.
Fishing late at night is always a lot of fun. We're lucky we got the camera boat along, we got the lights. Good thing we had the camera boat for that fish you got. You had to jump
No
in.
kidding. I had to jump in.
It was a lot of fun fishing
Yeah, it's
black
great.
ants. Hope everybody learned a lot about fishing with black ants. They're going to maybe give you a call and come out and give it a try.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Well, the neat thing on the
Appreciate
black ants too that I really enjoy is you can fish them dry and you can fish them wet. And you're not limited, or you're unlimited. You can put them on a sink tip line, get them down deep, or fish them right on top like we were doing.
Yeah,
Fantastic way to fish.
You come to the Columbia, you get the nice big fish. When you do, give Dwayne a call. He'll take you out here, show you a great time. We'll make sure you take care.
And conserve our waters, Columbia River, world-class fishing.
It's unreal.
It is.
See you next time.
Well, we take you sport fishing on the fly. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Sport Fishing on the Fly is brought to you by Marriott and their high-performance fly fishing equipment. And by Outcast, makers of the Pack 800, the best pontoon boat. And by Rio's quality fly lines, leaders, and tippets. And by Harborcraft, with their race-inspired and quality-built boats. Hey everyone, welcome to Sport Fishing on the Fly. Today we're at the Crow's Nest River in southern Alberta, one of Don and my favorite rivers to fish at. What we're going to do today though is talk to you about some of the different elements of a river. How to fish some of the back eddies, how to fish some of the runs if you're going to nymph, some of the great dry fly which the Crow's Nest is renowned for. That's what I've done. It's early in the day and I've come upriver to check out some of the dry fly areas that we like to fish at to see if anything's happening. Not much yet, it's still a little bit too early. I know Don's gone downriver, and as I look out over the prairie, it's pretty ugly for weather down there, but he's gone to one of his favorite spots where he likes to nymph, and that's how he's going to start off today, teaching you a little bit about nymphing.
Well, here's the first really nice run we've come to. And as you can see on the run, is composed of a bunch of different components. We have a very top end of the run, really the head end of the run. And as you can see, it's fairly fast up above. A little bit of faster water. As it blends into the run, it comes down and there's more boulders in the middle section and it's a little bit of pocket water. This area is a really good place to fish, mainly for dry flies, sun nymphing. It's a little tougher because the water is a little faster, but the fish do sit in the pocket water. Where we're going to try to nymph today is more down into the tail out of the pool. Now that run is a long, really nice, slow run. Down through here, it really gets leveled off. The water is probably 3 to 4 feet in depth. And I know there's a lot of nice rocks and pockets through here, and the water flows really nice and straight through, which means the fish will sit in that nice, straight flowing water. They don't like the boiling water, and they really don't like a lot of the back eddies in these smaller rivers. They really like the straight through water. I'm going to start to fish right in this pocket, right where it starts the beginning of the tail out. The water just starts getting a little slower, and I know it gets a little deeper through the section. So how I set up is, as we showed you, is I have my strike indicator on with my San Juan worm, and I've estimated the depth to be about 3 feet. So what I usually do is have 3 feet a leader, and then I add about 2 feet. So I have about 5 feet between my strike indicator and my fly, and that usually gets the fly right down to the bottom. Never really jump in to the pocket. Always try to work the edges first, because a lot of the fish do sit along the edges, then work your way out. So I'll take some casts up along the edge first, and then work the fly out. And when you're casting, almost cast straight up into the current. Oh, oh, that's a nice one. Oh boy. And that just shows you right in by shore. What I've done is just crept out. I've crept out about 1 foot. I'm standing in maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet of water, and I'm almost casting directly up, just straight up into that nice little pocket. And those fish, I had numerous hits, and finally, really tough to hook up with that San Juan worm. Whoa, whoa. That's a nice fish. Boy, oh boy. And they sit all through here. So whenever you're nymphing, be persistent. Don't ever give up. And don't ever think that you're just hooking up on the bottom, because if that strike indicator goes down and you keep missing, it's all right. Just keep throwing it in there, and eventually, if you don't sting the fish, you will get them. Whoa, let's see if we can get this guy in. He's right in a good pocket. And this whole run, just in by shore, I haven't even touched the whole pocket yet. I haven't even gone and fished out in the middle yet. And there's just so many fish that hold through these nice runs. And work it hard. Start at the head end, work your way down and through, and slowly work your way out. Oh, there's a nice bow. We'll get him in here. Oh, he's a beauty. Just barely lipped. And with the San Juan worm, it's really tough to hook up. So again, don't be discouraged if you are using a San Juan worm. We use barbless hooks. There he is. Nice little rainbow. Let him go back. And I know there's a whole bunch more, so let's try to get a couple more. There we go. Oh, the smaller one. Nice fish though. Oh, is he a whitefish? No. Oh, little cutthroat. Little cutty. There you go, and there's been quite a few cutthroat being caught now. We're fishing the Crow's Nest River and we're below the Lumbrick Falls. And this is a nice little cutthroat. You can see the nice cuts. We'll just let him go. There he goes. And there are a few bigger cutthroat in here now too. It's not just rainbows below the falls. I think there's quite a few cuts. Now when I'm casting upstream also, what you want to do is keep bringing in your line. You want to keep your, missed him. You want to keep your rod tip low to the water and just keep bringing up that line. Because as soon as that indicator goes down, you have to be able to strike. And you can't really strike if your rod tip's nice and high. If your rod tip's too high, you're going to miss a lot of fish. So keep that rod tip nice and low to the water and keep that line nice and tight. And then you got now, oh, there's a nice one. Oh, boy, coming right at me. Oh, like I say, if you keep your rod tip nice and low and that line nice and tight, you'll get the strike real quick and you won't miss many fish. Ooh, this one's a nice one too, a real nice color, real pretty. And work a hole, especially if you're nymphing, because if you work it right, you can pull almost every fish right out of that one hole. I haven't even touched the other areas yet. Okay, let's get this guy off. Oh, he's another nice cutthroat. Boy, I've only got the one real nice rainbow, and there goes another nice cutthroat. Wow.
That there is the world's finest fly reel. The reason it's the best quality fly reel you can make is because the attention to detail that Steve Abel's put into it. Today on the Technology with Steve Abel, who's the designer of the fly reels, and today Steve's going to take us through his shop and show how you get from the bar stock here to the final product here, which is awesome.
Thank you, Grant. I appreciate those kind words. You're right, this is how it starts right here, solid bar stock. And we take most of our parts that we use in the reel and start with bar stock of stainless steel or aluminum and end up with that.
Awesome. Well, let's go. Show us how to do it here.
First stop is the stock saw. After the parts come off the stock saw, after the bar stock is cut into slugs, we take the slug, put it into the chuck, close the collet, start the cycle. This slug in a very few minutes has been transformed into a blank spool. This is for a TR3 trout reel. You see all the operations on the one side are finished, and we're going to turn it around on another lathe and do the back side, which I'll show you in a minute. So Grant, after we do this first operation and we have the first side completed, we put it in the second machine to get the second operation, and it comes out like this. The frames are fairly similar to the spools. There's two major lathe operations. The first one is out of a slug again, gives us this cup-looking part, and the second operation comes out like this, all ready for the milling department.
So how precise are these parts?
On the outside, the finish is the most important thing. You know, the finish helps with the corrosion resistance on the part, and it makes it look beautiful. We have real close tolerances on the spools where we press fit the bearings into. Okay.
Well, you know, Steve, what impresses me most is that every part that goes into this reel you make right here, and I think that's probably why they perform as well as they do.
Well, you know, that's the reason I make everything here is because I can control all of the close tolerances and dimensions and the finish. I don't have to rely on anybody else to do my job.
How many parts total go into a reel like this?
There's about 35 separate parts.
Okay.
Well, let's take a look at these wooden handles being made. Well, this is rosewood dowling made out of laminate that's resin impregnated, so it'll last forever, real strong, holds up to salt water. And this is a rounder sharp automatic screw machine that we modified just to cut wood. Well, as I showed you before in the lathe department, we end up with a finished blank like this off the lathes.
Right.
Then it comes over to the milling department, and we do everything that's not round. Like we cut out these windows, we drill the holes for the foot to be attached, and these milling machines, they make everything from the pliers, doing all the detail work on the spools and frames.
You know, it's incredible how many machines you have here too. An awful big investment's going on in making these things.
Well, it's not cheap to cut metal.
What's next?
Well, next I'm going to show you some other operations on the spools and frames. I'll show you how we cut these holes for the nice looking windows.
Yeah, I mean, you got the nice look there, but obviously there's some structural properties to it
Right,
too.
exactly. It has to be strong. It can't collapse when you have a big fish on, putting lots of pressure. It's got to be lightweight. Well, Grant, one thing we do here different than a lot of people, we're a production shop, but we take great pride in the finishes that we get. And even the inside of the holes that we drill on each side of the reel, we drill one at a time. That means one drill going in, moving over, and doing another hole. A lot of companies that are production machine shops would use a gang drill and drill maybe 10 or 20 or half the holes at once. That way they get a fast cycle time, but you can't really control the finishes that well. We choose to make it slower, so it's better.
I think that's what I like best about this too, and you say it all the time and said, you know, I don't have a lot of business sense. I just want to make the best reel that I can make and offer the best for people to use.
Right.
You've done that.
We know, thank you. We know it is the best because our customers tell us that.
Yeah. Attention to detail. It's amazing what you have to go through here and what you do go through here.
Well, those are the key words, you know. You can make a fine product, but if you don't make all the finishes perfect and you don't chamfer all the edges, it's just another average product. You got to really pay attention to detail. If you notice the handle, we showed you how in the screw machine department we made it, and then how we polish it here. I mean, every one of them has to be perfect. You have to see the wood grain. And our customers are very fastidious about this. They will send back a reel if it's just not absolutely perfect. I mean, they want to see all the grain in the wood, and we have collectors that will send a reel back saying, oh, my other 5 reels or my other 10 reels, I can see the grain on the end of the handle perfectly, but this one, it's a little bit darker. Well, I tell them you can't control how a tree grows, and every tree is different. But we try to match up the handles as best we can, you know, to suit all our collectors and all the fishermen that use it.
Okay, the luggage department. Got to ask you first, why get into luggage and why build it all here?
Well, you know, it's funny because this is a machine shop.
Yeah.
Then we have our own sewing department, cut and sew shop here. What happened was years ago when I first started making reels, I had a tackle bag made by someone else. There was only one tackle bag on the market, and it's a fine bag, but when I put it in the overhead on an airplane one day, everything spilled in my head. And I realized that it had no zippers in it. It was all Velcro and had lots of open spaces, so I designed my own luggage for the traveling fly fishermen. But we couldn't get anybody to sew it with the quality we here at Able expect. So I decided a long time ago, when I couldn't ship reels because I couldn't get a $5 reel bag, that I had to start sewing.
Okay, we've seen all the parts, but now we got to put it together.
Yeah, you've seen all the parts, and we do all the machining out in the shop and all the polishing. And everything that gets anodized, we send out to a local anodizer who we've developed over the years to give us the best black anodized finish in the world. And that's what we're known for. I get the Atomic Power Commission calling me, I get Revlon calling me saying, how do you get that finish on those reels?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I showed you sort of how we do it. But anyway, all the finished parts come in here, and we assemble them in here and test them in here.
You know, I asked you earlier too about quality, what your quality control was, and said, you know, we really don't need it, we just make everything right. And the quality control is you come in here and you test out a reel and right off the factory floor, and it's awesome.
That's true. I come in here several times a day, pick up reels that they've finished assembled, I check them, I make sure the fit's perfect. But my assembly guys are really great. They've been here for years and they know what I expect. I pick up the reel, put my glasses on to magnify everything. I check and make sure none of the screws are protruding where they shouldn't be. I make sure the finish is overall good. I check the drag. The drag has to release smooth. When you set the drag real tight, it should just have no startup torque at all. Then I back it off, it should be the same at the lower settings. And then I test the bearings. And each bearing, you can feel it if it has a little catch in it.
Yep.
Because it just makes a little bit of a growl, and you can just feel it in your fingers. But otherwise, this reel looks real good. The detail is perfect on it.
It does look real good. No backlash.
No backlash.
And you know what I like best about the Able reels, what I'm beginning to like best about them, is the song of the reel. They have their own little hiss as they take off, rather than the big loud click, and I thought everybody wants to hear the big loud click, but the more I use this, it's sweet.
I'm glad you asked that question, because a lot of people say, how come you don't put an outgoing click in? And I always tell them, if Hardy would have made reels with a drag 200 years ago, they wouldn't have had to put a click in, because the click was only an overrunning device to keep it from bird's nesting when you strip
Right,
line out,
right.
or when a fish stops running. But what I like is when I'm in the woods and it's quiet and peaceful and the birds are singing and I'm catching fish, I don't want to hear some mechanical noise all the time. I want to hear the line going through the guides. And that's what people miss when they have that click. They don't realize it sort of overcomes the sound of the line that's going through the guides.
Yeah.
And if you do any saltwater fishing, especially bonefish or any fast species, you hear things like the line cutting through the water. Well, you can't hear that with that click going out. And I've actually been tarpon fishing and 200 yards from another tarpon boat and had that guy hook up, and I could hear his line going through the guides from 200 yards away.
Yeah.
So, and that's a sweeter song to me than that click going out.
The click. This is awesome. You got a great facility here. You make a tremendous product.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for coming by.
Really appreciate it, yeah?
All right.
Now here's a classic example of a real good dry fly area. What we have is really on the top of the run, a nice riffle. Comes in where we nymphed earlier, comes into that deeper water, and then the real tail out probably gets to about 4 or 5 feet. Water slows down, you get the nice little eddies forming, and the fish are hanging right on the bank. And you saw some.
Yeah, I got just about 3 inches right from the bank.
And that's it.
Right tight,
And
yeah.
3 inches might even be too far. Like the closer you can get to that bank without spooking the fish, that's where they're holding, right in the bank. And this is classic water, and you can go right across. You can fish this whole span, you know, with the dry fly.
Another thing that you said too is you always start at the bottom end of the run, because if we were to walk up to the top end to see if there were some big fish up there, that'd be it. We'd probably put most of them down.
You're exactly, because everything around that side, everything that's right on the shallows and close to the bank, they're gone. They'll move right away.
Yeah. Well, let's give this a go, because I know there's a guy feeding right by that little tree right there.
You know where he is, you pick him.
So we've been working at it. You can see where you're at now. You've moved to the other side, thinking that's where the fish are, and you had to switch it up.
I did. I had that mayfly on to start. And you know, there's mayflies all over the water, the nice light ones, but there's also been those big green drakes, and they weren't. I had little guys hitting my mayfly, so I thought, well, gee, all little ones, I want to go after the big ones. So first cast, I put on the nice big green drake. Well, it's not big, it's about a size 14, but this guy came up and popped it, just sipped it down. And he's decent. I don't know how I'm gonna get this guy in over here. I might have to move a bit, but he's nice.
Ah, we forgot the nets. We got the good nets now. Streamside gave us the good nets,
Yeah.
and they're back at the camp.
Well, they're on the float boats, which is all right. These little rivers like this, I think you can handle the fish pretty carefully.
Yeah.
That's a nice sized fish, I think. Sure looked nice when he took it. Whoa. I don't want to go over to the side though. I think there's fish holding in there too that I never got to touch. So I'll try to get this guy's head out of the water. Oh, he's a nice bull. Oh. Got that real light tippet. If he decides to go, I'm in trouble, but. Wait, hold on, boy. Just in the lip. Get him unhooked.
Oh, that's a
Right
nice
in that
fish.
rough part of the jaw. Those are the worst parts. There he
Good
is.
fish, beauty.
That's a nice fish, isn't it?
That's why I love coming here.
Nice silver color.
Those guys there.
There he goes. Right against the bank. And you look at the way the run's set up, where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Faster water pushing along that bank.
Yep.
I think they're going to be sitting there, but real calm over here. and fairly, it's no more than 1.5 feet. And that's where that guy was sitting, right along that edge.
That was a pretty satisfying day of fishing, and I hope everybody got lots of information about how we come to a river and how we approach a river, doing the nymphing stuff, and just waiting for a hatch to come on and then switching over to dry fly.
Well, the Crow's Nest is a traditional river. I think you're going to find that anywhere, whereas early on in the morning, you might get some hatches, but normally you got a nymph. It's a little cooler and things like that. When it warms up, midday into the evening, that's when you get the hatches, so you just got to be patient.
One of your favorite words is be observant.
Yeah.
And that's what you gotta do, be observant, watch for fish rising, and that's the key to go to dry fly.
Watch, yeah, exactly like you're saying. Watch for fish rising, and also watch for bugs in the air, bugs on the water. I mean, we just saw the old bomber. Our camera guy says, look at the size of that thing. And we saw one of the big green drakes, and all of a sudden we started noticing them coming off, and wow.
You know what else is important? We haven't been guided today. Not that that's not important, but what's important is we stopped at the Crow's Nest Angler when we first got here and saw Vic Bergman and said, hey Vic, you know, how's it going? He guides in the Crow's Nest River here all the time. And he was telling us, you know, the green drakes are just starting to come off, so you might want to look for green drakes. The duns are coming off.
Yeah,
so he gave us a lot of information. And whenever you go anywhere to fish, stopping at a guide's shop or talking to a guide is invaluable.
It is for sure. And also, I mean, I tie my own flies, you tie your own, but I always pick up some of the favorites, some of the local flies, because they're going to catch the fish, you know, and then you can copy them. Just learn from it. Take some of the local flies and learn from it.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
It's been a lot of fun bringing you today's show. When you get out in the wild, take care.
And conserve our waters. Hey, great fisheries like this one, can't beat it.
It's special. See you next time.
When we take you sport fishing on the fly.
Sport Fishing on the Fly is brought to you by Scott, makers of high-performance fly rods, and by Outcast Sporting Gear. The Thompson region of British Columbia is well known for its fantastic lake fishing and hard-fighting Kamloops rainbow trout. But few know about the vast opportunities the rivers in this area have to offer. One such opportunity is fishing with alevin and egg patterns for large rainbows during the annual salmon spawning run. Thompson River rainbows follow the salmon up the various tributary creeks and rivers where they feed heavy on all that the salmon have to offer. The salmon spawning run starts in August and runs right up until late September. Fishing alevins and egg patterns, that's today on Sport Fishing on the Fly.
Oh, all right. Oh, maybe they're starting to bite now. Oh, yes. All right. Boy, oh boy, he's not that big, but what a scrapper. He's just a great fighting fish. Oh, gee.
There he goes.
Got off.
Quick release.
Well, you know,
Decent.
there's got to be some fish sitting underneath that log, so all I did was just went along, try to get the egg as close as I could to the log without hooking up, have it go over, because I got to believe there's lots of fish sitting under there.
Oh, you know there is. Well, I mean, they all sit there too. Eh? They stack up underneath the logs. So what, you just put the egg pattern and let it drift right over the log?
Right over the log, yeah, and a big dolly here picked it up.
Unreal.
Well, you know, you guys have been fishing the alevin pattern, and I didn't have one on, I just had an egg, but I think the good thing when we get through with this fish here is probably head to the bench.
Actually, yeah, would you mind tying us up that alevin on the bench?
No problem.
And what do you call it? What's it called?
Jennings Ultimate Alevin.
Jennings Ultimate Alevin. All right, when we come back, we're going to go to the bench and tie up Steve Jennings Ultimate Alevin.
Yeah, right on.
I'm joined by Steve Jennings of the Kamloops Fly Shop, and we're going to tie an alevin pattern.
That's right, it's called the Jennings Ultimate Alevin.
Make sure you have these materials ready before you tie the fly. For the hook, we're going to use a TMC 200R size 14. We'll use some silver gray 3/0 mono for the thread, some medium vinyl tubing for the body, For the body filler, we'll use some gray Antron yarn with 3 strands of pearl flashabou, some bright orange ultra chenille for the egg sac, some prismatic stick-on eyes as the eyes, and some aqua seal as the head finish.
And so we start off with laying a foundation of our thread. Now we cut off a 1-inch length of our vinyl tubing and we slot that on to our threader cleaner. Now I've cut off about 3 inches of the Antron yarn, and I'm going to combine that with about 3 strands of the flashabou, pearl flashabou, and we're going to thread that, give it a lick first just to make it all stick together. Thread that through our threader cleaner, like that, and halfway along, and bend that over like that. And then we slide our vinyl tubing up over that and pull it on to our body filler material. Now we just cut that off of our threader cleaner, and one end we'll use for our tail and one end we'll use for our dorsal fin. Now we're going to put the body onto the hook. So we start about there, series of soft loops, and gradually getting tighter as you get down towards the front of the hook. Okay, now we fold this back and a few wraps around and then walk the thread up onto the vinyl tubing and the full back part and take it back to where we tied on. A couple of wraps there and then come back to the head. And now we have to just snip off about 1/8 of an inch up our dorsal fin, like that. Now we're going to take about 1.5 inch length of our ultra chenille. We're going to strip the ultra chenille off of the body to expose the core of the ultra chenille on both ends. And now what we do is we just fold that over into a loop to form our egg sac.
Okay.
And we tie that in on the underside, just like a throat hackle. A couple of soft loops, get that in, and snip off the end of the core of the ultra chenille. Now we're just going to build up a head, and that's why we're using this 3/0 because it's a little heavier material and it builds up a little faster. So we're going to build up our head just by doing lots of wraps. We're going to take our prismatic eyes and we're going to put them on the end of the needle because they're easy to handle. And just put them with the eyeball side down. Okay, now the eyes are a little too big, so we're just going to snip the tops off of the eyes. Now we're going to take a little bit of aqua seal on the end of our needle, like that, and just stroke it along the back and between the eyes, and then wrap it around the eyes, like that. And I also like to turn the vise over and make sure I got a little dab of aqua seal on the underside. Being careful not to get it into the eye of the hook, of course. Well, there you go. There's the finished Ailvin, and we'll just pop him back in the vise. And
That's a beautiful little pattern. I've also noticed that you really like to use the aqua seal in your flies. Why is that?
That's right. I think it's because it is a softer finish than epoxy. It doesn't crack and it doesn't discolor. And it just stays on there really good and cements everything together.
Great. Well, thanks for the tie.
You're welcome.
We're back. I'm still fighting him. I sized Ollie here. See if I can pull him up for you, Steve, and get the good net.
Get it wet.
Oh, we thought we might get a couple dollies today.
There we go.
There we are, right on.
Oh, get in there.
Good stuff.
Oh, such a pretty fish.
Oh, I love dollies. Yeah, they're excellent.
Look at the pink spots on the side.
Where's the... There we go.
Oh, that's a pretty fish. That's a pretty fish. Look at those markings. Look at this.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Well, lots of people don't like fishing for bulls or dollies, or I guess this is truly a bull trout, right? Because in the river. Oh,
There he goes.
Whoa. Oh, I think he wants to head down. Can never trust these fish in here. Yeah. Whoa. This thing in here, boy, they fight good. Boy, oh boy, good fighting fish. And they're not that big, but boy, they scrap good. Man, oh man. There he is. Right there. Nice little rainbow. Let's let him go here. Let him revive. I think he's almost ready. There he goes. And that was on the egg pattern. So we're catching them on the Elvin, which imitates a salmon just coming out of the egg. And we've also got a little egg pattern. Oh, he's a nice one. Well, you know, we lied. The big guys are
He's in here, right along the far bank there. Perfect.
Oh, right on.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, he's going.
oh man, unbelievable. He finally stopped in this little deep pocket you see in front of me right there. He finally slowed down for me to catch my breath. We haven't got a real good look at how big this guy is, but he feels pretty big. He's coming a long way. Oh man, I think when I try to move him up a little bit, he's gonna go again. Just holding in there right now. There he goes, there he goes. And off we go. So we did. I spent most of the day at that log where I caught the bull trout earlier. And we decided to come upriver a little bit because we kind of fished that hole out. And we made our way up. And now this fish is almost back down to where that log is. And it goes right across the river. If he makes it there, it'll be game over. But I think he's starting to tire now, so I think I can get him in a little bit now. All right. Oh, finally got him into a good spot here. Yeah. Okay. He should be ready after all that. And oh, there we are. Oh, right on. Oh, what a fish, eh? Oh, this is what we were catching a couple years ago, and we didn't know if these guys were still left in here.
Well, that was quite the hike.
Was it ever?
Holy
barbless
cow.
hook is beauty, eh?
Oh,
And-
isn't that that is
Well,
nice fish.
grab the net for me.
You know
if
what?
don't mind.
That's the size we were catching the other year. But that guy, man, he took you from way up there. Oh, jeez.
Look at that. Isn't that a
Yeah,
beautiful
isn't that
fish?
nice? All right,
All right, want this guy
let's get him revived
back
there.
down in here,
Back in the water.
yeah. You could take a little bit. Boy. Yeah, we're coming
What
all the
a
way down.
fight. Well, you knew you were going to hook a big one in there too when along that bank. It's got the perfect structure for him to hold behind those the big Chinooks. Because the big Chinooks were sitting along that edge.
You're ready there.
And it's funny, you know, when you're casting with the well, there he goes.
Yeah.
He's ready.
He goes, yeah.
When you're casting with these egg patterns, you want to be behind the big Chinooks, the
Yep.
big springs, because behind it imitates that egg.
Yep.
The smaller, what are they, sockeye in here,
Right.
are not. They don't have the big eggs. They got
Right.
the small ones.
Yep.
So if you are fishing, make sure you're fishing that egg pattern behind those big springs.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's what we did. There weren't very many down here, and you said that's why we moved up there.
Yeah.
You said while we're eating lunch, you went and scouted it out.
And I went going.
Yeah, we're good.
Well, let's head back up there because I know there's some more in there.
I think I need a break after that.
I know. Maybe the big guys are coming on.
Right on.
That can only
That'd be
hope.
good.
Double header. I got this little guy in here, and I know Steve's got a dandy right up
This is
here.
a big one.
Oh, that's a nice one, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, beauty. And you got him on the Elvin.
I mean, Elvin, no
Alright.
hesitation.
No
Bang.
hesitation, eh? I mean, hitting the egg's pretty good too, but you have to run an Elvin through here. That's a nice fish. So they're in here. We were worried about them not being in, but they're in.
We just gotta find the spots.
Yeah. Well, we're getting this guy in. Why don't you explain a little bit about the Elvin then? What's it imitating? Why are you using it?
Oh, come on, baby. He's too big for the net. There we go.
Oh,
That's a beautiful
that's
fish.
a nice fish.
That's a beautiful fish. That fish must go nearly 5 pounds, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a brute.
And the Elvin just tucked nicely, cornering the scissors.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the best place to hook them up. And that barbless hook just slides out there
Pops right
really.
out. Let's get a good shot of him.
He's a good,
Oh, yeah.
good fish.
He's hefty.
How do you like that one?
Hefty.
Beautiful fish.
Well, let's let him get back.
Okay. Face upstream.
There he
Away
goes.
he goes.
Right by us. Well, like I was saying, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about the Ailvin? What are you imitating? What's it doing?
Okay, about 30 to 40 days after the eggs are laid in the gravel, they hatch out into this stage, the Ailvin,
Okay.
which is a little opaque fish with the egg sac still attached. And they'll overwinter in that stage in the gravel. And gradually that egg will diminish as they use up the nutrition from that egg, and they'll start feeding on microscopic stuff on the stream bed.
So it's a freshly born or hatched little salmon.
That's a freshly hatched little salmon.
Oh, excellent.
Probably a sockeye. This time of the year, more likely an early Chinook.
Okay.
He took that for an early Chinook Ailvin. Yeah.
Well, you know what else too? You know, in some of those, some of the bigger streams where they have the rainbow in the springtime, you could probably get away with that pattern.
Oh yeah. Oh indeed.
You know, on the creek mouths and things like that. So
Oh, yeah.
make sure you take that,
The
take that in.
Ailvins look the same for pretty well every species. You know.
Excellent.
All the salmonids all look like that. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give it a try up in those rivers up there in the interior.
Well, you should.
Yeah, I definitely will. Good fish.
Hey.
Now I'm gonna go and get one.
Now go and get another one. There we go. There we go.
All right. Whoa. Whoa.
There was another one in there.
Another nice one. Oh
There was
man,
another
oh
one in there.
man.
Oh, he's a better one.
Oh yeah.
He's a bigger one.
Whoa. Right in that pocket.
All right.
Is that amazing? That is absolutely amazing.
If we get this one into the net, I'm gonna do a stomach pump on him and see if what's got inside.
Sure.
Let's see if we can get a sample of what he's been
Sure.
chomping on here. So just hold the bottom lip, fill up the tube with water, make sure it's nice and full, slide it down past the sphincter in the throat, a little bit of pull and we'll, okay.
Oh, he's been feeding heavy.
Okay.
Okay, let's let him go.
Let him go, there he goes.
There he goes.
Okay, now let's take a look at what we got
Here,
in.
hold it. Let's see. Oh, goodness, he's right under my legs.
There he goes.
Oh,
There he is.
where'd he go?
Let's see what he's been eating. There's some egg,
Oh, big larva.
and there's a larva, there's some egg. It's a good sized larva there, and some little stuff too. The ant,
Yeah, a
there's
couple
an
of ants.
ant. There's a little tiny nymph there. There's a little,
Just kind of everything.
there's a little midge there, an adult midge.
Wow, but that's a big.
That's a big larva,
big larva.
yeah.
So that's what's rotting on the bank. Every time those fish are
Yeah,
on the
that's
bank rotting,
that's a maggot.
that's
Yeah.
a maggot,
Yeah.
and they get bigger and they wash down. The fish feed on it.
So they feed on the maggots.
So if you have maggot imitations, I'm sure they'd work.
Oh,
Same
sure.
time the eggs are going.
That's a big maggot too,
That is excellent.
and still alive. See it crawling along.
Yeah.
here.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Hey, you're welcome.
that's just
Handy
awesome.
tool, the stomach pump.
Great information.
Yeah, it'll tell you lots of story here.
Oh, and he's getting hacked on by
Oh,
all these.
yeah, that's
Sockeyes.
a nice fish, Granny.
Yeah.
Beauty. Is that a big male? Looks like a big male.
Bull trout.
It's a bull?
That's a bull, yeah.
Oh, big dolly. Beautiful.
Oh, second dolly of the day.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a pretty fish.
Yeah, is it ever?
Oh.
Do me a favor.
And you know what? The only thing you can say about fish a lot of times is that's pretty.
Yeah, we get
Wonderful.
hacked for doing that.
Stupendous. Yeah, we say a bunch of real nice words, but oh, that just pops right out. Nice. Dolly. Look at the beautiful orange spots and that.
Yeah, about the same size as the last
Nice
dolly.
white fins. And he's gone.
Just like that. Excellent.
Excellent.
Thank you. A big dolly sitting in there.
Another thing, and when you go to a place like this, wherever the rainbow are feeding, if there's dollies around, they'll move right in too.
Yeah, they will.
And
In the calmer water, a little bit calmer
Yeah.
water usually for the dollies.
And they'll snarf everything.
Yeah.
Well, it just shows you.
Nothing wrong with that.
You've had good luck with the dollies. You've had a
That's
couple already.
Yeah. Well, last time we were here was you. You had
Yeah.
a couple dollies.
Well, I was fishing the calmer water.
Right.
I'm staying with the rainbows. Whoa, got the big guy.
Oh, we just missed
Whoa.
the big double header.
Whoa, hang on.
I had the big bull trout on down below.
There he goes. He's gone. He's big. He's another quality fish.
But
Well, you know.
this is good to show. I mean, up here, where you're fishing up here, is where the rainbows sit. Oh, rainbows up here, a little bit faster water. The dollies, if you pan a little bit down to the right, down where the fish is now, you see it kind of calms out a little bit, and that's where the dollies are sitting. And I've picked up a couple of big dollies down there.
You had that big dolly on it. You know what? We saw the big guy boil.
Yeah.
Remember we said,
Yeah.
was that a rainbow? And yeah, it was a rainbow. Oh, man. Another big toad taking me way down. Oh. Oh, man. I don't know. I'm going to have to go on the chase now. I'm not going to be able to bring him back up.
Nope.
Oh. He's big. He's big. 6-weight rods, I mean. This is a major setup we have here. Oh, and he's just hacking. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, 6-weight rods, if you're gonna come here, recommend a setup for sure on the Clearwater or any of these streams up in here, the tributaries. Make sure you have at least a 6-weight rod because you're catching some big fish. Oh, this is a quality fish. Okay, try to lead him down to you, Granny. That's another thing. I went through the recommended setup of the 6-weight rod.
Yeah.
Minimum 6-weight.
Oh yeah. Well,
And
that last bull trout I had on, he was up there in weight too.
He
You
was,
want
he was
something you
big.
can muscle him in with.
Again, it's all barbless hooks. You should be using barbless hooks regardless, but wow, I've got the 5.5-pound fluorocarbon on the end here. This guy's pushing that. You could push that to the limit.
There he comes. Oh yeah.
A lot of room to move. There he is.
Isn't that huge?
Oh,
That's 20
wow.
inches for sure. What a beast.
What a fish.
Yeah.
I want to show the whole fin. Look at that.
Yeah. 20 inches.
20 inches. Look at that. And he wants to go. I'm going to, oh, there go my glasses. And he's gone. He's gone. He wanted to go. Yeah, I had to get my glasses. Unreal.
Right
Fantastic.
on. Oh, I'm
What
so
a
glad
day.
we came back.
What a day.
Started off a little slow. We got here earlier than we did last time.
Oh, we were quite early, yeah.
Yeah, so it was slow. The fish were a little bit smaller. We're thinking, oh, well, we're going to make a show on
Yeah.
little fish this year. No.
Not a chance. Wow, you had some great action. You were Mr. Dolly Varden today.
I've never done that before, you know. Usually I
know.
like to stick with the rainbows.
Yeah.
I thought I'm going to go with the calmer water.
Yeah, and you were plugging them, and you had some nice rainbow. Everybody had good fish.
Yeah.
Everybody did.
Yeah, it was a good day. Big thanks to Steve
Yeah.
Jennings at Little Fort Flying Tackle for bringing us in here again.
Yeah, and for tying me that great little pattern and tying everybody that Ilvin pattern. Very
Yeah,
nice.
It's excellent. You want to come here, make sure you take care.
Yeah, and call Steve too, because then he could take you up the Clearwater. You're going to get awesome fishing like this.
Yeah. See you next time.
When we take you sport fishing on the fly. That was a toad.
Very sad.
Sport Fishing on the Fly is brought to you by Marriott and their high-performance fly fishing equipment. And by Outcast, makers of the Pack 800, the best pontoon boat. And by Rio Fly Lines, leaders, and tippets. And by Harborcraft, with their race-inspired and quality-built boats.